Hello, my friends. It's Heather again, and this is episode number 24. Wow. And this is about why gratitude is golden. And gratitude is such a powerful tool, and it's so easy to use. And I invite you to pause at some point during your day today and think of one thing that you're grateful for. I already know. Right now, I'm grateful that you are tuning into the podcast. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope this helps you shift, and I can't wait to talk to you soon. Take care. Hi, my friends. Welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and this is Heather, and I am super excited that you're here. You are going to hear some tips and some tricks and some ideas to help you live your happiest and healthiest self. I call it Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, back to me, then you can take better care of others, and we can all make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way, and I am super happy that you're here. Okay. Hello, my friends. How are you? I hope you are having a beautiful day. As my friend Karen says, you look out the window and you say, it's a beautiful day and I'm okay no matter what the weather is because, well, one, you're upright or you're up and about, or even if you're not sitting upright, you are here, and that's a wonderful thing. I am Heather, and this is the Back to Me podcast, and this is where I come every Wednesday to drop in and say hi. It does get republished out into Apple, Google, and Spotify podcasts as well if you're looking for the audio version. And maybe you're actually listening to the audio version, which is super awesome too. And I thank you for that. So today, my thoughts turned to gratitude. And it's interesting, when I was thinking about gratitude, my mind kind of went all over the place. Some people, they say they practice gratitude, and I guess in their way they probably do. But I wonder sometimes if we're practicing it to its fullest potential, maybe is what I want to say. So a couple of things around gratitude and why I think it's important. So gratitude, I was thinking earlier, if you sit and think about all the things you're grateful for, does that bring up something for you that makes you feel like you're being selfish or you're taking something away from someone, which is not what gratitude is? And I mean, obviously, it came into my mind. So either I've heard it somewhere before, or maybe it triggers something in me now and again where I think, oh, I have too much, or this, I'm being greedy. But being grateful for what you have allows you space. It doesn't take away from anyone else. In fact, I would say sitting and being grateful for the things that you have, whatever they are, there's always something. Being grateful for the things you have allows you the space to recognize what you do have, and allows you that space to be available to assist, maybe, is a good way to put it. So often we're going through life feeling overwhelmed, these days especially. We might feel like things are out of our control. We might feel like things are going wrong all the time. And that's going to put a pretty heavy burden on you. That's going to make you feel pretty terrible. That's going to make you feel maybe like life isn't something to be grateful for. But if you think about the things that you are grateful for, if you can find something to be grateful for, that helps you shift your perspective, maybe is a good way to put it. It helps you shift from a place of panic, overwhelm, feeling like things are kind of out of control, into okay, so there are things I can control and there are things that I can't control. Let's take a pause and take a stock, maybe take inventory of what you do have. And it doesn't always have to be a worldwide overwhelming thing that's overwhelming you. It could just be small things that are overwhelming you. So take a stock of, what do you have now? What, it's not all physical possessions. I mean, when I talk to my group coaching participants, there's 6 areas that we look at, right? So there's 6 areas just to help us organize our thoughts. We divide it into 6 areas that we look at. And those are areas to help us say, oh yeah, I do have this under, maybe it's a physical, I am pretty healthy and that's something to be grateful for. And I do have good relationships with friends, family, the support group, community that I belong to. I do, enjoy my work, or, all of these things that are going to impact your wellness are things to be grateful for. And if you use a practice of gratitude on a regular basis, so I was bringing up gratitude because when we're feeling that overwhelm, when we're feeling that lack of control, that things spiraling sometimes, it's going to help ground you back down. So using a practice of gratitude brings you back to, instead of thinking the worst of things, it brings you back to what's actually going on right now. And am I okay right now? And taking, finding the things to be grateful for makes you realize maybe you are okay right now. Not to say life is perfect. Life's never perfect. And I've talked about perfection before, so I won't go into my perfection story. But recognizing that, okay, I do have these things in my life that are positive and helpful and allow me to feel in a space where I can shift my attention. So for me, practicing gratitude every day, because it's a muscle you need to exercise. It's like any muscle, it needs to be exercised. By practicing gratitude every day, you start to feel that sense of more stability. You feel more okay. Maybe you can breathe a little better. You feel a sense of maybe a little more balance, a little more security. And it's in that place where you find you can maybe extend a hand. So if we're feeling overwhelmed and we're feeling unstable, we're in a protective, I always think of the fight or flight mode. We're in that protective state. We're like closing in, closing in. But if we're coming from a place where we recognize that it's okay, we're okay, and we can feel, it's not going to be perfect, but we feel we're in an okay place, we can actually extend a hand to help someone else who maybe not be feeling as awesome as we are. And I think that's a huge thing in the world. You can see, not just in the world events going on right now, because there are some pretty giant events going on right now, but even in a day-to-day walking down the street in your neighborhood, you can see people who are feeling okay. They're feeling like their lives are pretty chill. They're not chill maybe, but they're in a place where they feel okay. And then they'll actually smile at someone that they're walking by and say hello, or, do something to give back to their community. Maybe they feel, I can, like my husband, he delivers food for the food bank on his bicycle every single week. 12 months of the year, rain or shine, he's out there delivering food. And that's because he says, because this is something I can do. So we can only do what we can do. But being in a place of gratitude and awareness that we can do something helps us move forward and do those things we can do, instead of being stuck, instead of feeling overwhelmed, instead of feeling like something, the world is against you, or maybe that's a bad description of it. But sometimes I think that might be true for some people. They might feel that. So gratitude, it's so powerful and it's so simple. And a brief story of how just looking at things can change your perspective, somewhat related to gratitude, but this one is specific to happiness. So many, many years ago, and I got this through my yoga teacher. So it's a story through a story through a story. So I'll see if I can, I'll at least convey the sense of the story. So one of the major yoga teachers who brought yoga to the West was Krishnamacharya. And I can't remember whether it was him or his son, Desikachar, who a gentleman in yoga, or in India, yoga is a form of medical treatment almost. That's where you go. If something's not well, you go to your yoga therapist. And this man went to, I'm going to say Desikachar, because it was a digital camera, and said he was unhappy, he was depressed. And he didn't know what to do. And he wanted Desikachar to give him a yoga practice or something to do. And in the West, when we think of yoga, we think of all the movements, the asana. I've got this, the asana is a piece of software, but asana is a yoga practice, just so you get the pronunciation right. But he wanted him to give him postures or something to do, maybe a meditation practice. But instead, what did he do? He said, well, I'd like to help you, but can you come back in a week? He said, but I'm trying to write this article for this journal about happiness, and I need your help. He said, I'm super, super busy. If you come back next week, I'll help you with your depression problem. But can you take this camera and just go take some pictures of happiness for me? So the man said, of course, okay, sure. He said, if your doctor says, I'm too busy to talk to you, come back in a week, what do you usually do? You're like, okay. So the gentleman left. And of course, the staff was all worried and upset. They're like, you gave this man, this random stranger, this brand new digital camera, and he's never coming back. And it is a poor country. And, I actually did have my digital camera stolen in India. But at the time, I felt like he needed it more than I did. So that was an interesting practice. I'll talk about that another day. But the man did leave, and he didn't come back. And he didn't come back, and he didn't come back. And so they all thought, oh my gosh, the camera's gone. Okay, we have to get a new camera. But the man did eventually come back a year later. So imagine a whole year this man has been gone, but he came back with the camera, and he was happy, and he was smiling. And he said, I'm sorry it took so long. I wasn't really sure at first how to take a picture of something happy. But through trying to do this for Desikachar, he looked for happy things. So he was looking for these things, and in looking for these things, they impacted him and changed his way of being. He became a happy person because he could see happiness, and he knew it was out there. So, big long story around to come back to gratitude. If you look for things to be grateful for, you will find things to be grateful for. And being in a place where you recognize that there are things to be grateful for, and that your life maybe, and I don't want to make it sound like everybody's life is perfect. So if you're in a place of suffering, I am so sorry. And I will send you all the support that I possibly can. But if you're in a place where you do have a lot to be grateful for, and even when I'm in my worst, even when I was in the hospital with my stroke, I had so many things to be grateful for, even though I was in the hospital. Anyway, so look for those things to be grateful for, because they will shift your energy, they will shift your attention, and allow you to blossom yourself and expand your awareness and expand your ability to send some of that positive energy out into the world, which is what we need lots of, right? Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you, if you are listening to this in time, on March the 17th, which happens to be tomorrow, I am giving a 90-minute webinar on the 6 things the first 3 steps that you need to take and the 6 things that will help you lead your balanced and healthy life. And spoiler alert, one of the things that's going to help you is gratitude, but that's okay. Come for the webinar anyway. My friends, if you ever have comments or questions or even a request of something you want me to talk about, send me a message, send me a DM. I will post all my information in the comments, in the chat, and anytime you want to have a conversation with me, I would be happy to connect with you. I'm Heather from Prosperity Flow Coaching. This is the Back to Me podcast. I hope you have a great day. I am grateful for you. Take care. See you soon. Hi, my friend. Thanks so much for listening to this entire podcast. If you found it useful and you're like me and you like helping others, please feel free to share this. Give it a like, give it a comment. If you found something useful in it, there's a chance that someone else will find something useful as well. Also, if you have any questions at all, I can absolutely help, and I would love to help. You can email me at heather@prosperityflowcoaching.com. If you want more of this awesome content, you can follow me on Instagram, Heather Stewart Coaching. You can follow me on Facebook, Prosperity Flow Coaching. And I have a personal request. I want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. And if you could give me a review, hopefully a good one, if you could share, if you could send this out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that you find your way to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend.